feeling this here.
Yeah, son, you feel it, man. Word up, son. You gotta just do it, yo. Yo, word up, man. Some different channels, son. Word up, on, man. Word up, watch the channel, son. Different plane now, man.
It's all good.
Word up, all good, baby, in every hood, son. Word up, yo. CNN, Network, Channel 10. It's on again. Street niggas is grown men. Bold face, gat in your face. Stay in place, yo, crime lace. Cast more beef than Scarface.
This call is now being recorded.
Okay, we are back. Channel 10 Podcast, channel10podcast.com, and all of that. So, when we left off, we were just about to get into this Bizzy Bone.
Yeah. So, I guess as a little intro, you know, I guess we all have our Google alerts out there, and I have 3 Google alerts right now. You know, 2 for my research, one on the 5 civilized tribes, one on all black towns, and one on Bizzy Bone. You know, he's been someone that ever since high school, you know, he's just been coming out with crazy independent albums. I just never had it. I haven't been able to really fully always know what's going on with him. So then this random article by Chaz Kangas, or Congas, I'm pretty sure it's Kangas though, came out in the OC Weekly. He does apparently, because I've heard of his name before, he does like other things for like, you know, Complex and other music websites, but he seems like he has like this blog, I'm always on OC Weekly. And so he has this blog entitled, this post called Bizzy Bone's Money in a Ziploc Bag is truly a timeless classic.
Wow.
And I think we haven't we talked about Bizzy Bone or Money in a Ziploc Bag in one of these videos, one of these episodes.
I don't know if we did. I mean, we talk about it all the time.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why I got really excited about it. But to make a long story short, he kind of like, you know, talks about BET Uncut, and pretty much his argument for this article is that this Money in the Ziploc Bag video is one of the most important rap videos of the new millennium. And he says this because he talks about the music industry of 2000, and he's saying that, you know, you gotta remember that people were spending money like crazy, that any other time in recorded history between albums and whatnot. And then and it was kind of reflective on people's hunger for any type of musical content at the time. And of course, you know, this is where music videos, you know, come from. When it comes to us, you know, we talked, I think, last episode, one of these episodes about Lil Wayne and how we didn't hear Lollipop until we saw the music video.
Right.
Which I think is really a good example. And it goes into BET and how Viacom recently acquired it around this time, and how it turned Rap City into it from being, I guess, kind of where the host would, you know, where the host would be like in various locations, and turn Rap City into the basement.
Right.
Around the same time too, which I forgot about. And then we get, you know, in 2001, BET Uncut, and he says that when Money in the Ziploc Bag came out, it was on BET Uncut, as we know, but it was the first time a big name rapper, which he does have in quotations, a big name rapper has a clip on the program. And then he's saying, you know, from this one video, then you have, you know, your tip drills and other, I guess, rather big name artists who do end up having videos on BET Uncut.
That's right, because, yeah, matter of fact, now that I think about it, around that time, part of your marketing strategy was to have a crazy video that could only be played on BET Uncut. And one example that I have for that is that one song off of 50 Cent's second album.
Disco Inferno?
Yeah, Disco Inferno. And I just remember that video changing my life because it was the first time I saw butt cheeks with a butterfly tattoo, and when Shorty was shaking it, it was like the butterfly was flapping its wings.
Well, okay, well, and then I think I was going to go into something, I guess, a bit more, more social in the fact that, because, you know, like, you were like the shit if you could go back to school and say, yeah, I watched BET Uncut, or yeah, I saw the whole BET Uncut to a certain extent. And that, you know, it was a really big thing in the life of a teenage boy. to see nothing but, you know, to see big breasted women and big butts for a good hour.
And no more internet porn.
Yeah, it's the thing, like, and the guy does say, like, this is pre-YouTube, so, you know, like, having something like this, although, you know, we kind of see it as kind of silly, it was really important, you know, for the, you know, just for what it was to see big-breasted women, you know, at 3 in the morning, but then more importantly, though, he does go into it kind of sort of that it gave independent rappers a new avenue to get their music played.
Yeah.
And heard. So, you know, and actually, just looking at, and this is like an idea I had for maybe like a bigger blog post, which I didn't really want to exactly say, because maybe someone could take the idea, although, I mean, it has been done. But I want to do it in a different way. Just some rappers that, you know, I'm not going to go too deep into, because it kind of takes away from the blog post. But I will say that one rapper that I forgot who actually had a BET Uncut thing video.
I think I know who you're thinking about.
Who?
From Baltimore?
No, not from Baltimore, because I forgot about that too, though, actually. A New York dude who's always around us. Who's associated, but yeah, AZ.
I don't even remember that one. That was an avid BET Uncut watcher.
Yeah, AZ, take it off.
Oh, hold on. What album was that from?
You know, if I had to guess, I mean, because I had no idea. If I had to guess, it's probably like 99 Lives.
Damn.
I mean, my bad. No, is it 99 or 9 Lives? Because I know that's around the same.
9 Lives.
Okay, he had 9 Lives, and it was like around, like, he had like two songs, like 2 albums kind of like around the same time. And like one is like kind of New York, I think, and then the other one is kind of like him trying to get some money. 9 Lives and Asiatic.
Yeah, I think 9 Lives never came out officially. Or something like that. Because I remember back, you know, before the internet, when all we had was the Source magazine. I remember them having something about it in the little underground corner or whatever.
No, it came out.
It did? Yeah, I hope it didn't come out. Or maybe it's like
Final Call.
Oh, yeah, Final Call, yeah.
I clearly remember when this one, because I remember my brother, he had it. I think he even had it on cassette, I think. But Wikipedia says it managed to sell over 435,000 copies, though.
Wow.
And then I think it goes back into what the article says about, you know, like rappers, like any rapper at this time, they were selling crazy records for no reason. Just because it was a rap album. And when I read the article, I was thinking about Q-Tip and his Amplified album. And, you know, for listeners, we know I know this is based on Wikipedia. But, you know, if you want to go into Wikipedia and how it's ran, it's a bit more safe to use that source. It's kind of sort of, I would say nowadays compared to when it first came out.
Yeah.
I remember, and maybe it's changed now, but I remember like going on on Wikipedia and Q-Tip, for Amplified, they said that it sold 98,000 copies in this first week. Now, I mean, Vado the thing, it was a pretty big song. You know, it got like a lot of spins between radio and especially for music videos. But just thinking about the fact that Q-Tip can sell 98,000 copies in his first week, it's crazy for me to think in the year 2014, 2015.
I mean, he had two big hits off that album and then one minor hit. He had Vibrant Thing, which had all them remixes to it. Then he had Breathe and Stop. Don't forget that song. And then he had Ride. Ride. Now, come on.
Oh, yes, I forgot about that song.
Yeah, I mean, like, you know, I guess this is kind of getting off topic, but going into that album, Amplified, you know, it was kind of looked at as a sellout move at the time. But when you go back and listen to that album, man, even those quote-unquote sellout tracks, man, those joints were dope. And I think Jay Dilla produced that whole album.
Well, yeah, but see, that's the thing, though. It wasn't really... Because if you go to his Red Bull Music Academy, let me write that down. His Red Bull Music Academy interview. And did you ever watch it all the way through?
Nah, because the first part was just so boring, and I couldn't come back to it.
Oh yeah, about the 3-bar loops.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I went back to it. I mean, well, mind you, I think I was like pretty drunk when I watched it, but he talks about, like, you know, how people really got on him about Vibrant Thing. I mean, about the album. But looking back on it, it's a really boom babish album. I mean, even like a Vibrant Thing, I can respect it because it's a grimy beat.
Yeah, I mean the way the sample is, it don't like that, like them dirty sounding guitars on it and them drums, like.
It doesn't exactly sound like it, but it's kind of like in the same vein of the Mobb Deep 112 song that we've mentioned in the previous episodes.
Yeah.
But then I guess it's a reflection of the time between how many albums he sold in his first week, which is still amazing. Because I think Wikipedia said that he was like number like 10 or 11 on the charts.
And, you know, that's crazy when you think about, you know, Q-Tip's last album and how, oh my goodness, that album was so dope. And I know it probably sold to date, it probably sold what his first album sold his first week.
I mean, yeah, you know, like, someone like, well, I guess he has a lot to like really, like a lot of things that he's done that makes up for it. The fact that if you think about it, he could kind of be like a bitter rapper to a certain extent, at least when it comes to his solo career.
Yeah.
I mean, he had Vibrant Thing, and I mean, I'm assuming that the album eventually went gold. I'm not entirely sure, but you know, come on, the Abstract, the whole thing about that. And how I think he eventually he got his masters back or whatever like that. But then he finally came out with it, and I mean, really, it seemed like no one cared about it that much.
I mean, I remember, I think it was in the source, I remember reading this long, like, drawn out article about this album and how he did it and how he learned how to play these instruments, and it was just like so much hype for it, and then just for them to announce that it wasn't coming out. And, you know, it kind of reminds me, I guess, you know, back then you couldn't just go left like that if your label was used to a certain thing. It's kind of like, you know, for the listeners who don't know it, like going from his first album, Amplified, to Kamal the Abstract would be like going from Kendrick Lamar's Good Kid, Mad City to his new album, To Pimp a Butterfly. Like, just the difference in sound and just taking it that left, but just a little bit more extreme, maybe.
I mean, well, I think it was Q-Tip, and he mentioned that, you know, I think L.A. Reid was a part of the label that Q-Tip was with during the time when Kamal the Abstract came out. And, you know, he goes to wherever he goes to, L.A. Reid, and he comes out with, you know, Speak About the Love Below. Although, I mean, and, you know, I was kind of thinking about it, but I think Outkast, they kind of, you know, you can kind of see where they were going at, especially with Spank On You. You know, like Sorry Miss Jackson, the way it was. Yeah. So it wasn't surprising that Andre 3000 started breaking out the singing and shit.
Yeah.
Although, I mean, Hey Ya is just but he did have Hey Ya, he had Roses, things that people could dance to, and they're really, they're intricate, but they're simple, at least with the lyrics.
I hated Hey Ya. I still hate that song.
But it's like a really upbeat, it's really off kilter, but,
I can't catch the beat to Hey Ya. Like, I just don't understand that song. Like, I can catch the beat better to David Brubeck's Take 5, which is in 5/4 time signature, than I can to Hey Ya. I don't understand how this song is constructed.
Well, okay, hold on, all right, so, because I know you always bring up David Brubeck in 5/4, and we talk about, Outkast and how they would and how they do 3/4.
Yeah.
So, because, I don't understand Hey Ya either. Is that 3/4? Or is it?
Hold on, what song?
Hey Ya. That shit is not. That is. I think it's 3. Because that's not 4/4. I think it's 3/4. It has to be, because he still kind of raps. Like, it reminds me, like, it's kind of like E.T. Aliens-ish in a way. Kind of sort of like the way, like his flow. So I'm assuming that's 3/4-ish.
Man, I have no idea, man. I haven't heard that song in so long. Like, I really don't like that song.
I'm thinking, I don't know, but yeah, so, you can kind of see where he was going with it, and then Q-Tip comes out of nowhere, I think it was different with Q-Tip, because he came off with, like, vibrant thing. He's talking about something that people actually want to hear, and it's not abstract. And then he comes out with, because, the Kamali Abstract album was really, it was really abstract. Like, even like on track 6 on Blue Girl,
that's my favorite song.
It's my favorite song too, right? But then toward the end, he has like that long pause, and then it comes back out of nowhere and scares the shit out of you. And then he's like, yeah, the birds. Like, I think I get it. I think I get what he meant by that. But people want to hear about vibrant things, and they go on and on and on, and not about him talking about a depressed ass girl.
I don't know. Like, I guess this goes back into my thing. I think I mentioned it on a previous episode, and I've mentioned it off air. I guess it kind of goes to what you're listening to music for. And with Kamal the Abstract, coming into the project, I knew what it was and what it was supposed to be, so I wasn't listening for lyrics as much as I was for music,
Yeah.
And, like, he could have been talking about purple dinosaurs and gray unicorns, but that music was just rocking, especially on that one particular song. Like, just the musicality of it really caught my ear before I even listened to the lyrics. And, sometimes music is so dope that you just rock to the song and don't even, you might never get to the lyrics,
Yeah.
And an example I have of that is D'Angelo's new album.
Well, you can't really understand what you're saying half the time.
I know.
That's the problem.
And I was listening to what's that podcast called? In the Conversation with Damian Lemon, Vladimir Firmano, and Ali Muhammad. They were actually talking about how, and it's one thing that never occurred to me, because, Vladimir, he's Hispanic, and he was talking about Kendrick Lamar's new album and just rap in general, and he was talking about how he has, I guess him coming up on, like, bachata and, salsa and merengue type music. When it comes to rap, he has trouble catching the lyrics sometimes, and it's like, you know, he might have to write it down, or might have to go look up the lyrics and really break down what an artist is talking about. It just doesn't come to him. And it's funny because, you know, the black people on the show, Damian Lemon and Ali Muhammad, was talking about R&B, and how with a lot of R&B records, that's how they feel. Like, sometimes you can't catch an R&B lyric, but it just sounds good when they're singing it. And then they brought up that D'Angelo album, like, you don't know what he's talking about, and they thought about going back to go look at the lyrics, but you're like, nah, just let it rock, you know. And, like, you know, sometimes, especially when you have an R&B artist who's real deep into histrionics and, you know, just showing off their vocal prowess, you're not necessarily listening for what they're saying, but it's more so how they're delivering it and how they fit to the beat. And you know, I guess that's kind of like with certain rappers as well, Young Thug, Future, etc., Mumblecore.
Is that like a new term now?
I've heard it described. I've actually heard it described more for Mos Def, because you know how he be like mumbling on tracks that's not really mixed down sometimes. But I attribute it to, you know, these auto-tune rappers as well, and Kanye West does it. But yeah, I don't know. I just Mumblecore. There's a Wikipedia. Oh, but Mumblecore. It says Mumblecore is a subgenre of independent film characterized by low-budget production values and amateur actors heavily focused on naturalistic dialogue.
You know, all right. Actually, that reminds me, because when I was uploading the latest episode to YouTube, you know, pretty much what I do, I just copy everything that you put up on Soundcloud, and so I was looking through like the tags, and I put in Mumblecore. I said, oh, this must be like the new thing, like, you know, like the Futures and like the, you know, the Young Thugs out there.
Yeah, I mean, I heard somebody use it for Mos Def, and I was like, I'm about to start using this for these auto-tune rappers. Or like these rappers who you really, you know, these mumble mouth dudes who you really don't know what they're saying. And it's not even just auto-tune rappers. I mean, it's, you know, it's a lot of different people sometimes. I mean, there's Mos Def. There's a lot of dudes from the South. There's a lot of Jamaican artists. There's I don't know, like a lot of dudes who just speak regularly in regular conversation with fronts on. I would consider their whole conversation mumblecore.
I mean, actually, you know, I mean, I understand that. I mean, you know, being an owner of fronts, I know how to do it.
When was the last time you wore your fronts?
Oh, man. It's been actually last semester. I wore them in class twice.
What was the reaction to that?
That's a good question. I mean, it was. Everyone looked at me like I was crazy, but sometimes people do that anyway. I mean, they just kind of looked at it, you know, as I was talking, and that was pretty much it. They never asked me about it.
Oh man, man, you gotta wear your fronts somewhere social this week, and come back and tell the listeners how that went down.
I mean, I think the most niggerish I've ever been. Or urban, I'm not gonna say, well, urban, I guess you can say. It was when I was in LA, and I had a meeting with with my writing professor or whatever like that. And I had my fronts in, you know, I had like my hair like in a big ass afro with like a pick in it, and I had like this thing where I would smoke afterward and I'll start writing. So then I had like a cigarello in my ear because I didn't want it, you know, I didn't want it to crush in my skinny jeans or whatever like that. And she was looking at me. She did like a 10-second look at me, looking at me up and down before we even started talking about my research. was really awkward.
Did you do that on purpose, or it just happened that you were just super urban that day?
I mean, it just happened that way. I mean, because sometimes I'll realize that I'm like really urban one day, and I just don't exactly fit the usual. Well, I mean, actually, I never do, but I mean, if I'm extra urban, then I usually realize myself. No one really comes out and tells me. Usually, a teacher will say something like, that I need to, get a suit and look like one of Obama's agents or something like that.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
Man. But I guess going back to BET Uncut, man, I don't know, and it's funny that, we mentioned BET Uncut, and I guess maybe you had it planned, but, we talked about a lot of things that we didn't even talk about before this show, and we haven't talked about damn near anything that we talked about, but this kind of goes to something that you mentioned speaking on before the show. You remember a BET Uncut video called "What That Thing Smell Like" by Black Jesus?
Yeah. That's why I wanted to talk about Black Jesus.
Like, yo, that song. I mean, that was the classic BET Uncut song, and I remember like. It was crazy because at that time, that was in high school, and my girlfriend at the time, like, that was her, like, favorite song, and she used to come to school, like, singing that joint. And
really?
Like, yeah.
Oh, my God. Oh, man, I can't,
yeah.
I mean, all right.
And sometimes, the people who, were up on game, sometimes we would just all just have a moment where we would just sing that song.
All right, so this is the thing about these types of videos.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think your ex, knowing, I guess, her rather suburban upbringing, do you think it was more because of her suburban upbringing, or was it just because she just liked the song?
I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say her upbringing was suburban. Like, her upbringing was suburban, I guess, kind of like how my upbringing was kind of suburban, if that makes sense.
I mean, yeah, but you were you were all over the place in various places, like how I am now.
Yeah. I guess. I mean, because she was urban, but not really exposed to that or whatever. But I want to say it's just because she liked the song based off of the shot value of it, and just how, like, damn near corny and crazy it was at the same time. But it was still very catchy to the point where I'm trying to kick it tonight. Ooh, now let me tell you, now baby, let me what that thing smell like. Like, that's something that's always going to remain in my head to the day I die, that melody.
Oh, now, wait. Now, did you, like, look it up? Or did you, like, just throw that off the top of your head?
That's on top of my head.
All right. The Bizzy Bone article mentioned the Black Jesus thing. And then so I said, that sounds really familiar. And then so I went to it before we recorded, and I said, oh, my God, I remember this shit. And then it got me into, like, a whole nother conversation in my head about the term Black Jesus, since, we had the Black Jesus cartoon show on Adult Swim. And then I wanted to know who else other people that have called themselves Black Jesus. And surprisingly enough, we met a Black Jesus.
We met a Black Jesus. Let me think of who that might be.
Okay.
And just a sidebar, remember the place where we just were a little while ago when we were talking about the alcoholics, and I had something to say, but I forgot what it was?
Mm-hmm.
it was, I wanted to know, do you still have that tape? Or maybe, no, you know what? I have the tape. I think I took it from...
the ODB one?
Yeah, the ODB and Alcoholics record.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I may. I don't know. I'm not entirely sure.
I think I have it actually.
Not cool.
Yeah. I think I saved that one. But yeah, speaking on Black Jesuses or Big Baby Jesuses or whatever. But you said we met a Black Jesus.
Yeah.
Who was that?
Oh, it's gonna be pretty random. When we were in Times Square. And we ran to the Harlem 6 guy.
Man.
Yeah. His name. What's his fucking? His name is Black Jesus, but it's like it's more than just Black Jesus. Yeah, Lord Black Jesus Harrison.
Wow! Shout out to the Harlem 6.
Yeah, I mean, actually, that the mixtape that we got, it was actually really good.
Yeah,
it wasn't bad. Yeah, but shout out to Harlem 6 and shout out to because I told you that I had another run-in with him with Black Jesus in Harlem.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the same exact guy. Yeah, he pointed me to where the headquarters of the Nations and Gods and Earths were, or is rather.
Yeah. Yeah, shout out, peace to the gods and the earth.
yeah, man. I was looking for Black Jesuses, and I came across him. He comes up on Wikipedia, and they're like, Black Jesus may refer to things.
Well, I mean, it's an accomplishment in life if you have your Wikipedia page, or even if you're mentioned on the Wikipedia page. So, enough respect.
Yeah, and there's also, and I'm sure you know this, a song from Tupac and the Outlaws called Black Jesus.
Oh yeah, I do vaguely remember that song.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, well, at least we know that a Black Jesus rapper did exist before the white Jesus.
Ritz. Shout out to Ritz.
Yeah, shout out to Ritz.
He's dope. But
yeah, so yeah, the licks.
No, the only thing about the licks is that, the ODB, when you talking about Black Jesus, it reminded me of what I was thinking of, because, ODB was, the Big Baby Jesus, but he was black, so he was Black Jesus as well.
Yeah, he was.
It's,
I'm rolling with you.
Jesus, I'm rolling with you. Oh my goodness, that song, man. Man, ODB, what was I just listening to? I was listening to a Raekwon interview on Ice-T's podcast, and he was talking about... Yeah. And he was talking about how he was real close with ODB. He said he was one of the closest people to him, and just how, and then Ice-T was talking about him too. I think Ice-T said he met him one time, and just how crazy his style was, and how nice he had to be to even, and confident in how nice he was to even come out the way he did, And then Raekwon said that ODB, on the low, he made beats and he was involved in production and, formatting of songs and things like that. And, there might be times because, basically he was kind of the life of the group. And, there were times, RZA was the abbot or the dictator or whatever, but ODB sometimes it was, whatever he said went. And then it made me think about how, Busta Rhymes said that, listening to ODB's first album kind of taught him how to structure an album. And Busta Rhymes was executive producer on at least one Raekwon album, Only Built for Cuban Links Part 2. And it's just interesting how, all that works together.
I forgot about Busta Rhymes being involved in Only Go for Cable Links Part 2.
Yeah, it's funny because, you know, Raekwon, he credits Busta Rhymes as one of his mentors, and Busta Rhymes said that in an interview that I remember from back in the day, he said that ODB taught him how to format his album.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, 'cause I think on that same article, whatever, he went on to say that, you know, I think the first the Return to the 36 Chambers was like his most favorite album or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, man, that album is dope. And I remember, you know, I had a point in my life when, you know, I was real big on ODB, and my homeboy was like, you know, I'm crazy, like, like, you know, it was kind of a joke, but I was serious, like, ODB is the truth.
I mean, yeah, man, like, you know, like, because, I realized that, and, you know, it's funny, like, what you said, like, in the description for the last episode, that somehow, all the episodes revert back to the Wu-Tang.
I was just thinking about that.
But yeah, man, like, sometimes when it comes to, like, my most favorite, like, solo Wu album, I always fluctuate. And it's kind of like just based on, like, the mood I'm in. If I'm listening to it, I'm like, oh, man, no, this, like, you know, I'll say to myself, like, oh, no, this is, like, the best solo album. But overall, after talking to my brother for a while, I told him, I said, you know, I'm really thinking that ODB's album is probably the best solo album out of all of them. Because it's real. I mean, actually, all of them are consistent, but it's something about that album, like, I think to this day, no one has ever done the album like that. Maybe if you want to say Lil Jon to a certain extent, but not on, like, not lyrically. It's just something that it just hasn't been done ever yet again, and that was in 93.
I mean, I think what ODB did with that album is what the Beatles did and all them people back then when they were experimenting with psychedelics. Like, that's coming from a higher power, and that higher power is drugs.
Well, see, that's that too. That's why, like, you know, when you talk about, I think you said Busta Rhymes mentioned confidence. I'm like, well, he was high at the time, so of course he had confidence.
Yeah. And I mean, he just, I mean, that album is just so dope. And, like, I think, you know, in terms of just originality and an album that, you know, nothing can kind of, like, touch it or nothing that's come since, I don't know if you're going to agree with me on this, but I got to say Iron Man.
John, do you mean, like, when you say in terms of, like, not touching it, what do you mean exactly?
I mean in terms of, like, the sound and just the way the lyrics were formatted and all that. I mean, I know you probably say Supreme Clientele because that's real abstract and probably drug influence as well, but I mean, just, what was that song? Was it number 2 on Iron Man?
Wildflower?
Yeah, Wildflower. Was ODB on that song?
No, ODB was, you know, ODB wasn't on the album, actually.
Right, he wasn't on that album. I don't know why I always think ODB's on that song. I must be thinking about domestic violence with RZA, but,
oh, he wasn't on that either.
ODB wasn't on domestic violence?
No, it was him and that girl that's always popping up on like digital album. That's name.
Oh, well, I must be thinking about...
Oh, you Black Widow.
Black Widow, yeah.
But you know, but the funny thing, you know who made that beat, right, though?
Who?
Inspector Deck.
I was just about to say Inspector Deck. Inspector Deck be making beats on the low, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. But yeah, go ahead.
And, man, first off, Inspector Deck is one of the most underrated rappers of all time.
I mean, he is, but what are we basing this off of? I mean, I hope this is more than just like the Triumph beat. I'm sure that you're going into like his first album and like I guess Wu-Tang albums and stuff like that.
No, his first and second album. The second album was dope, but not even just the Triumph. I mean, first off, he has one of the most iconic verses in hip hop ever. Like, I bomb atomically. Socrates' philosophies and hypotheses can't define them while I be dropping these mockers. Like, it's to the point where if I knew back then that a rapper would be sitting with Neil deGrasse Tyson, I would have picked Inspector Deck over Jizza.
You know what? That's very true, though, because, I mean, Jizza never mentions anything scientific.
Not until, like, later on, but even going back to 36 Chambers, like, Inspector Deck just steals the show. Like, I'm the Messiah. I set the microphone on fire. Rap styles carried and very like Mariah. Yeah. Like, yo, he used to just come on the track and just shut it down.
But, you know, I think, like, you know, like, if you base it, like, on the Wu-Tang manual, you know, remember, like, when they were all, like, broken up and they had, like, certain people that, like, they were under or whatever like that. And I think Inspector Deck was under Jizza. I think Jizza took Master Killer and Inspector Deck under his wing. Yeah.
Matter of fact, Raekwon talked about Master Killer, because I think Ice-T asked about Master Killer, and he said, yeah, that was Jizza's homeboy. And just by him always being around Jizza, they was just like, you know what, you in the clan.
I mean, well, shit, it worked out for him. I mean, I think there's been more occurrences than what we actually know about people just sitting on the couch when people are recording and they become who they are. I mean, look at Jay Electronica.
Yeah, man, that was like crazy when Saigon said he was working on his album and it was some random dude on the couch, and then later on he realizes that's the Jay Electronica that they've been all that everybody's been talking about.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy, man. And, you know, it makes me sad. This is a whole other topic, but, and we've talked about this before, but, you know, it really makes me sad that people only know Saigon for, Love and Hip Hop. When, like, this man made The Color Purple. Like, this man made Do-Rags. And you know him for Love and Hip Hop. This man made The Greatest Story Never Told. And you know him for Love and Hip Hop. Like, Greatest Story Never Told. If that joint came out in the mid-2000s when it was supposed to, I mean, that's at least a 4.5 mic album.
Now, what did it get mic-wise?
I think it might have gotten 4.5 mics.
Yeah, you know what's interesting is that, like I think it's like a general consensus between all of us that, you know, people in our circle that the double XL is way better than the Source, but we always go by mics.
I mean, because the Source was first, and the Source was, you know, that initial thing of credibility, and the Source used to be better than double XL at first.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, because I always remember like the double XL just coming out the gate because the Source started becoming a bit too commercial by the time the double XL came out.
I mean, the problem with double XL was, it seemed to show favoritism, especially once, you know, G-Unit started popping, and like 50 Cent had so many covers, and Aftermath, and G-Unit, and Game, and like that whole clique, they just ran that whole double XL thing. And you know, Elliot Wilson, he always chalks it up to that's what's popping right now, and that's what we're gonna put on our magazine. So I guess now people, well, for a while people were criticizing Rap Radar for, you know, always posting Rick Ross and MMG and stuff like that. But you know, he always says, you know, he's not the one that's gonna break new talent. He's the one that's gonna cover what's popping. But I don't know, man. Like, I was always, like, it took me a while to switch over. Maybe because I'm a little bit older than you, but it took me a while to switch over from the Source to double XL.
Well, see, that's the thing. I mean, but the thing is, I think since I was like kind of raised on the source, even like my mother would buy them sometimes just for her own reading.
Mm-hmm.
I would still only buy the source compared to Double XL.
Yeah, I mean, I used to I started off buying the source, and then I used to have to buy the source and Double XL.
And then when Scratch came out, you had to buy Scratch.
Yeah. Then I had to buy Scratch. I thought, man, my Scratch magazines, they got like water damage to them, but I bought every single Scratch magazine. Like, that was the dopest magazine ever. And I heard that they were supposed to keep it going, at least online, but I don't think they really did that.
Maybe it's something we could do with them.
Maybe, man. I mean, I'm like, Scratch had they had the DJ notation in the back to like how to like scratch certain things and how they did it. Like, that was just dope. Like, that just made me want to hop on the turntables and figure out how to do that shit. Like, and to this day, like, I'm gonna get some turntables and I'm gonna become a master DJ.
I mean, like, speaking of turntables, this is something that kind of, because for some reason, after listening to his album, I think I finally realized, I guess, like, the art of scratching, because I never really thought about it, and I guess in a way that actually Billy Woods' album.
Okay.
And for the listeners who don't know about Billy Woods, I don't know. Well, we have no idea about the demographic, but assuming that you know who Cannibal Ox is, and assuming you know who Voodoo Mega is, Billy Woods is Voodoo Mega's kind of homeboy. And so Billy Woods' first two albums, which came out on Backwood Studios, which actually Billy Woods still on Backwood Studios. He had his first two albums with Voodoo Mega, but it was co-starring Voodoo Mega, obviously for promotional reasons. And then he eventually broke away from that. He kind of gained some type of following in the underground. And now he has this new album entitled Today I Wrote Nothing that came out maybe like 2 months ago or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like maybe like 24 tracks, and it's kind of like he kind of took like the Mad Villain route, in that he has like a bunch of tracks, but all the tracks are really short. But he does have like maybe quite a bit of scratching on some of the songs, and just like the way they're done, it's like, actually speaking of it, he has like an MF scratch on one of his songs. But it's like, some of the scratches on this album, it seems like they were just thrown on there just for the sake of doing it. And compared to like maybe a premiere that actually, you can tell he takes time with his samples, trying to figure out which one will truly fit.
He through his scratches and creates art from it.
Yeah, I mean, and actually, just like listening to Billy Woods' album, like the songs that he has that had scratching on it, it made me like fully realize it. Because other than that, I really never paid too much attention to the scratching on on a Gangstar album or something like that.
Oh man, that's half of the joy of Gangstar albums.
I mean, I guess to a certain extent. I mean, but sometimes I'll get tired of it. I think that's the thing. I get tired of DJ for me. I mean, but I know that's his signature, because a lot of people can't do that, obviously.
Yeah. Oh snap!
And everyone
pulled up Billy Woods on Spotify. He says song with this dude Euclid.
Yes, right. That's what I meant to tell you, that Euclid is all over his album.
Yeah, I remember Euclid had his dope. I don't even think I'm pronouncing that right. Just looking at the spelling of it right now. It looks like Elucid. That's what it is. I think I was supposed to do a song with him back in the day. I never did, but he had some dope ass shit that was out.
I mean, he's pretty good on his album. Yeah, alright.
Yeah, I mean, like the songs that I heard from the album that I listened to, it was like real rock based. Like, it wasn't real hip hoppy. So it's like kind of hard for me to picture him on some actual rap tracks.
But, that's the thing. Like, some of these tracks aren't really. I guess they are because like the route that Billy Woods took on this album is like they're like really like 2-bar loops for the most part. He's just like rapping over them, and it's really minimal. But then he does have maybe like 2 or 3 tracks that like are kind of like really rocky.
Well, I see Billy Woods is performing in Philly.
And Baltimore, too, I think 28th.
Okay. He's in Philly on the 22nd. So I was thinking maybe we can make an excursion out there if you're back in town.
Yeah, man. Like, yeah, I need to see Billy. Because, do you remember any of the songs that I sent you, like 2 years ago?
Not really.
I mean, in so many words, he kind of sounds like me, what I'm trying to do. And I don't really understand. I mean, maybe that's some good white people behind them or something. I don't know.
I'm gonna check them out and give you my review.
I mean, because maybe I just didn't sing you like the right singles, but I think you will like them though, for the most part.
I'll check them out because my musical interests have definitely changed over time, and a lot of stuff I said was like whack and trash before. You'd be surprised when I say I like it now.
I mean, shit, look at me, man. I mean, I like, come on, who would have thought that, if you would have talked to me, 4 years ago, I would say that I can appreciate Young Thug.
Yeah, I'm surprised about that. You probably appreciate him more than I do.
I mean, he has rhymes. I mean, I don't know. I mean, we've seen Gucci Mane rap over the Shook Ones beat. I don't know how he would really do over a beat like that, but, if he was decent or whatever, or even nice on it, I wouldn't be surprised.
That's true. I mean, like, and I guess, we were talking about this off air, but, going back to our conversation from the last episode, where you were talking about that Young Thug intro, I went back and I listened to different Gucci Mane mixtapes, and I think I found 2 of them on Spotify that had a Young Thug intro, and they were dope. And then I ended up listening to good portions of these Gucci Mane mixtapes, and Gucci Mane was kind of killing it. Like that one line I sent you when he said, what did he say? He said, "I'm a dinosaur, you a herbivore. I'm using words you never heard before." I was like, oh, snap.
I don't know. This is the thing, like, for, like, that type of, I don't know, maybe, like the audience that he's trying to reach, and, that's a good thing, but then you just think about, like, God damn, man, these are the words that, that these niggas ever heard before.
I mean, herbivore, maybe. I mean, of course niggas heard dinosaur, but, I mean, in a general conversation, who is really going to know what an herbivore is?
I mean, I guess that's true because, to this day, people don't exactly know what a pescivore is.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know what a pescatarian was until my homegirl who's a pescatarian explained it to me, and I was like, oh. So it's like, if you don't encounter these people in your daily life, you really have no reason to use these words. So, I guess I don't really blame people for lack of certain vocabulary. Because, us with our dietary constraints and restrictions, quote unquote, we have specialized jargon.
I mean, that's true. But I think the thing about me, and like when you sent me that quote from Young Thug and from the song, I think the thing about him that I do like is that how
Gucci Mane who said it.
Oh, Gucci Mane said it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right, well then, that's not what I expect that from him. And even like certain things. Even like certain things though, like that he said over the years that like I will always kind of look down upon, like, when he said that he comes out icy than, like, more icy than a Bud Light or some shit like that for one of those Bird Print mixtapes. And just thinking about, I don't know, just thinking about, like, nowadays compared to, like, the shit that we're hearing now on the radio. And, you know.
Hold on. I gotta call you out, man.
Why you said that?
Because, man, you can't talk about that line when Big L said something like, I'm colder than an icebox. And you thought that line was so hard. And I'm like, okay. He said harder things in that same verse. That line was kind of corny. It's kind of like one of them lines that get you to the next line. I'm colder than an icebox. Like, but you were like, yo, he said I'm colder than an icebox. And you were like so passionate about that line. And I'm just like, why? And now you want to criticize Gucci Mane for saying I come out icier than a Bud Light. That's more lyrical than what Big L said.
I mean, well, see, that's very true. But then if you want to go into, like, the history of refrigerators, and, before, like, the actual refrigerator, from what I'm understanding from oral history, there was an actual icebox.
Yeah, we had one, remember?
I mean, like an icebox, you put, like, actual dry ice in.
Yeah, remember in the kitchen, we were real young on Baker Street, and we had the refrigerator, and then there was that other thing that was by the door. Remember that?
I vaguely remember it, but did we have dry ice in it?
I don't think we used it. It was just sitting there, but it was probably used at one time before we were born.
Yeah, it was used to hold granddaddy's liquor or something like that. There was a lot going on from what I'm understanding. Oh
wow, I didn't think about that, but yeah, we had an icebox. But see, when Gucci Mane says I come out icy like a Bud Light, the icy is a double entendre kinda, and it's a metaphor. Like I'm cold, and then I'm icy with the Juelz or whatever, and then metaphorically relating it to a Bud Light being the coldest beer, supposedly, whatever. That's the dumbest marketing thing ever, but people buy into it, whatever. But when Big L says, I'm colder than an icebox, it's like, that's it. Okay.
I think at that time, because now, I don't exactly see it as the hardest line ever, but at that time, I was still new to Big L, so,
You remember that, though?
Yeah, I clearly remember it. Actually, I was listening to him like a while ago, and I came across that, and I was like, oh, I remember that. I thought that shit was hard.
Yeah, but you went crazy over that line.
You gotta think about. This is the same person that said, put his brains in the streets so you could see what he was just thinking. Shit like that. So I was still hyped up off just listening to a man that mixed horrorcore and lyricism properly, I think.
Yeah, ask your girl. They say no, ask Beavis, I get nothing but head. Like, I think Big L was like the Rakim for punchlines. Like how they say Rakim changed the way that rappers flow. Like, Big L changed the way rappers formatted the words in their verses. And, he's the blueprint for a Fabulous, for a Mace, for all of these dudes who are out now, especially like the Harlem dudes, of course, but, and I used to hate on Cameron, but going back and listening, I think, and maybe, this might be considered hip-hop blasphemy, but I feel like Cameron kind of took what Big L did and elevated it to another level, kind of.
don't know. I've never had a problem with Cameron. I don't think I would go that far though.
You never had a problem with Cameron?
No, not really.
I don't know. I guess me, being, into the type of things I was into. When this nigga said, I remember being in my homeboy's grandmother's kitchen, and we was all just chilling, sitting around, right? And I don't remember who all was with me, but we was just all together. You remember my whole crew from back in the day, right?
Mhm.
And I think I made a joke about Cameron, and I said something about, it should be funny just to freestyle like fake Cameron verses. And then I said something like the Rudy Tooty Pooty Doody or something like that, and then we happened to be just, going through different songs or whatever. And I think, maybe one of my homeboys was a Cameron fan, so we end up on some Cameron mixtape. Oh, matter of fact, no, I think it was a Get Crunk music joint, and that joint was so hard. But whatever it was that he said, I said that on the freestyle, making fun of Cameron before I heard the song. But, I guess I was kind of, very late on Dipset because I get it now, and now nobody cares.
I mean, yeah, it does seem like no one really cares about their parents on the scene or whatever like that. But because when I remember when Cameron came out with, he came out with SDE, and he had that one music video when it seemed like he was like driving around throughout the whole music video or whatever it was.
What means the world to you?
Man, I don't know. I think maybe it has the title has something like Fire or something like that. Or
yeah. The album was called Confessions of Fire.
Oh, so it was SDE, Confessions of Fire?
No. His first album was Confessions of Fire, and then he came out with SDE.
Okay, well, both of them. And I never paid much attention to them because from at least the singles, I never cared much. And then the Dipset thing was, it seemed like in Dipset's heyday, you never really heard a lot from Cameron. You only heard a lot from Jim Jones, Juelz, and every other person that wasn't Dipset, and not really Cameron. Because it seemed like sometimes on a mixtape that they had, he would come out, and even on Diplomatic Immunity, he wouldn't really rap all like that compared to the Jim Joneses and the Juelz to a certain extent. It seemed to me.
I think Cameron, it seems for a long time that he just really raps for fun,
Yeah.
He just, he cares, but he's just really fucking around with it. And I think that comes out in his lyrical style. And I think that comes out, when he misses. But it's just because he's kind of fucking around and playing around, which I think sometimes is the best way to do music, because when he hits, he hits. But, now he said his next album is going to be his last. And it's probably not going to be great, but it's going to be cool because it's Cameron, and it's going to be probably something that you expect from him, and it's going to be alright. Because his little EP series was real cool. His mixtape before that was real cool. Everything he does, he got some joints, some bangers or whatever. And I think, in history, in retrospect, he definitely made his impact on the game. And then after he made his impact, I think people go back into some of that material and, see what's really good. No pun intended.
Yeah. We all know that he pretty much had his breakthrough with, he has commercial breakthrough with Come Home With Me, but then he had his critical breakthrough with Purple Haze.
Purple Haze.
And cause actually I didn't like Come Home With Me at all.
You know what? I didn't like it at all either, but I think one day I was like, let me go back and listen to a whole bunch of Cameron, and I appreciate it now. Because it used to be that I only like one song off there, but now I like a lot of songs off there.
Man, I remember the first time I listened to Old Boy, and it was on like a random, like one of those like random ass mixtapes that would have like a half naked lady, like female on it on the cover.
Yeah.
And I got it from my mother. It was my mother's mixtape. She got it from my dorm, and I think I had it like a good year before it even came out.
I mean, like that song. That's still my summer anthem. I remember last summer I put that on the CD and rode around to it, like, for a lot of the summer. Just, like, I mean, that record was just crazy. Like, even though I didn't like Cameron at the time, there was certain joints I couldn't front on, and that was one of them.
What about, what's it called? Take Me Home and Take You Home?
Take Me Home. Do I remember that song? I don't
Let's ride, alright, and we can get it on tonight.
Oh, Hey Ma.
Oh, Hey Ma, shit, damn, I was way off.
Yeah, I couldn't find that song either, or the remix. I mean, even though I think my favorite artists are the ones who I don't like at first, and then I end up liking them. So, like, Cameron always had, like, even though, I didn't like him, he always had them joints I couldn't front on. Like, Old Boy, Hey Ma, was he on Get Crunk Music?
Yeah, I think so.
Get Crunk Music. Oh, my goodness. When that song came out, I mean, that beat is still one of the hardest beats that I've heard in the past 15 years. This is that bomb, diggy. Juelz did this thing on there, too. And, even Juelz, I didn't like him at first, but when he came out with that second album, that was, like, maybe the second half of my freshman year in college, and, ooh, man, that joint, I get the money like clockwork. Like,
I don't know, see, I'm still not a big fan of Juelz, period.
But you're the one that was talking about his first album being so great, which made me go back and appreciate it more.
No, I don't recall ever saying that. I was talking about that fucking single that I still don't understand to this day.
I thought you were talking about his whole album and his whole rap style. Like, you made me go back and listen to Juelz and appreciate his rap style more. Trying to find out you don't even like it.
No, that most definitely wasn't the goal. I didn't have any intention to try to get anyone to go back and listen to that.
And then I went back and I listened to a bunch of Juelz mixtapes, and that song he had, Red Bandana, that joint was hard. Like,
I don't know, maybe if I went back and listened to his mixtapes. I mean, with all these Dipset people, that's how it really seems. You gotta go back and listen to their mixtapes to really understand them, I guess.
Yeah.
I like the JR writers and
yeah.
I never really had a problem with Purple City Bird Gang either. I mean, that mixtape was pretty nice.
I never really listened to them like that. I do know, the two people who I can name from the group, Agala and Uncasa. Uncasa was part of them, right?
Yeah.
I've just heard things about him, and it makes me not appreciate the music as much. But I probably shouldn't talk about all that. But Agala, it'd probably be really interesting to hear him in an interview, because I feel like I've heard of him doing some shit with Biggie and him having like a long lineage in the game even before then. And when I think of Agala, I don't even necessarily think of Purple City Bird Gang. You know what I think about?
Grand Theft Auto?
Yeah.
How did I know?
Yeah, that joint he did with Sean Price, and that was, how a lot of people, Grand Theft Auto might have been the beginning of the resurgence of Duck Down. We talk about the whole triple threat thing, how they had Sean Price album and the Smith and Wesson and the Buckshot and Ninth Wonder, but I think that Grand Theft Auto 3 record kind of sparked it all off. I keep rising to the top, and I think that was a track on that Sean Price album, which is a personal classic for me.
I mean, more so than Onion Head.
I mean, the whole album is a personal classic, but Onion Head, god damn, I mean, there's so many records on that fucking album. Like, I just remember, that just take me back to that time when I used to be interning at Strictly Hip Hop, and I first heard that album. It's a couple joints that resonate with me from that time of interning up there, but that Sean Price album was definitely one of them. And that was serious. And he's coming out with a new mixtape, even though I thought he quit rap, but he came out with a new record that I haven't listened to yet, and apparently he's coming out with a new mixtape. So maybe that's maybe he's coming out with an album after the mixtape or something. I don't know, but any new Sean Price, I'm with it.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, even like when Cameron said it's gonna be his final album, I highly doubt it.
I don't necessarily doubt it from Cameron. I don't know, like, because he seems like he's already done with it, but he's just doing it because people want it, you know?
Well, that's very thoughtful of him.
Like, yeah, like Purple Haze too. Like, you know, people want it, so like, I'll do this. Like, it seems like he was doing them little EPs just because he felt like people want him. And it's like, you know, he don't even really take the time to get his joints mixed down right. He just puts them out. Like, Cameron operates like an underground rapper, you know?
Yeah.
Like, he operates like somebody like Blue or Charles Hamilton or somebody. Just put out material. It might not be mixed right, might not sound right, but there's some gems in there that some people will find, and they'll be their personal classics or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And he's cool with that because he got Juju, and Juju got a fat booty, and they seem to be having fun, and he has his other business ventures that he doesn't disclose.
Yeah, man, like, I wonder, I mean, because you were telling me something that he owns, like, some type of TV company or something like that.
Oh, no, it's some type of deal that he was talking about he has with Netflix, and maybe it's not going through now, because remember, when he was doing his first of the month EPs or whatever, he was talking about that, and I remember he had the mini-series, and every time one came out, it would be an episode, but... Yeah. I think Cousin Bang was a big part of that, and I think maybe he got locked up again or something, so those stopped coming out. So, I don't know what's up with that Netflix thing, but, you know, I remember him being on the Breakfast Club talking about how he has a bunch of business ventures, but he doesn't attach his name to it because people just hate, you know, that nigga Cameron, he got a fucking McDonald's, I ain't going that shit. Because he said, you know, he's done the same thing in the past, and he said, check himself, like, you know, why am I thinking like that? But it's just like an automatic thing how niggas think.
Well, maybe he's going to put Killer Season out on Netflix or something like that.
Oh, man. Oh, man, Killer Season is classic, man. Like, you know, me and one of our cousins, we argued about Killer Season, and my whole thing is that Cameron made it like that on purpose, like it's supposed to be funny. And his argument is that this shit is just dumb and supposed to be good for real, and it just sucks. But, you know, Cameron knows what he's doing. Like, he knows that shit is low budgety and just hilarious for no reason. Like, he knows this.
Are you talking about the album or the movie?
The movie.
It's really obvious. It's supposed to be funny.
Yeah, like, this shit is just ridiculous. Like, there's no way that, you know, it's to be taken seriously for most of it. I mean, like he pissed on the dude.
I mean, I think his most serious album was probably the one no one ever talks about, Crime Pays.
So this is his most serious album?
I mean, because he really, I guess you get cookies and apple juice. Yeah, but I mean, a lot of those songs weren't really funny. Like even like the one that me and you both like, the one about like going to work every day or something like that.
Oh yeah, I mean that was. I think maybe your view of that album is clouded by that song, but I mean, bottom of the pussy hole.
So are you trying to say that Purple Haze is probably his most serious album? Or does he have a serious album at all? That's the question.
I mean, Cameron is a character. I mean, if any of his albums were actually serious, I would put it in the first three. Confessions of Fire, SDE, or Come Home With Me. But Come Home With Me is when he started becoming the character. And Purple Haze, I mean, is Purple Haze the one that had that intro, or was that Killer Season? And you know what intro I'm talking about?
Yeah, I think that was Killer Season.
Okay. Yeah. I'm trying to see. Oh my God, Down and Out. That song was so hard.
Yeah, I was thinking about the fact that he had a Kanye West track on it.
Yeah.
No, actually, he had two. The one toward the end that was like really hard. That he like talking about his life.
Oh, was that the one with Jay Ryder, that Shake joint?
No, it was like, I think it's just him, and it's like his really sad soul chipmunk sample.
Trying to see. I remember back when Cameron first came out, my homeboy from kindergarten, man, he was really on it. And I forget if it's on the first or the second album, but he had a song, and you know, it was kind of biting off of an old soul joint, but it was like, I'm your mama, I'm your daddy, I'm that nigga in the alley, I'm your crack, I'm your weed, I'm that everything you need, I'm your pusher, man. Remember that song?
Yeah.
Yeah, like.
Isn't like the soul song? Isn't that Curtis Mayfield?
I'm looking for this. How you talking about the song on Purple Haze?
No, you said
Oh, that song. It probably is Curtis Mayfield.
Yeah, I think that's Pusher Man, or whatever that song was called. The album.
Yeah, I think it was called Pusher Man. Yeah, Curtis Mayfield, Pusher Man. And so Cameron, he had a joint called Pusher Man, and it was kind of like redoing that.
Okay.
And like, you know, it was a bit of consciousness with it. So that's why I say like his first two albums, maybe three albums, were a little bit more serious, and you know, the rest, he just became larger than life and comical, and, you know, it was kind of like, it was almost a joke to the way he made himself, and it was like everybody was supposed to be in on the joke, but some people took it too seriously, I guess, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, the dude came out with the pink Lambo.
Yeah. But, you know, like an album, a project that he did that no one ever talks about is his Public Enemy #1 mixtape. That was 2 CDs that no one ever talks about anymore.
Yeah, man, that shit was hard.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I taught my brother into listening to it, and he liked it a lot. And, I mean, even like Glitter, that was a pretty nice song to me.
Yeah, there were a couple songs on there that he had. I just pulled up that Piff, and I'm looking on Cameron mixtapes. Cameron had a lot of material, and some of it, like, let's not forget those DJ Drama mixtapes that he did with Vado.
Oh, that's right. He did like what 2.5 and 2.2 was some weird shit like that.
Yeah. I mean, I think I think it went up to number 3, and then he did an album with Vado, and he had some joints that shut the summer down, at least in New York. He had Speaking in Tongues with Vado. What was the other one? We All Up in Here. That joint was on there. I mean, let's not forget, what he did with Vado. Boss of All Bosses, yeah. And then he did Cameron and the UN present Heat in Here. Trying to see if any of this songs on here. Yeah, that shit came out. I don't think there was anything memorable off there, but yeah, shit he did with Vado. And then the Boss of All Bosses joint. Oh man, and how he brought up A-Rab music and had some joints with A-Rab on there. I mean, and let's not even forget A-Mafia. Boss of All Bosses 2, A-Mafia had his own song on there called A-Mafia.
Of course he did. I mean, I don't know. He just had such like a big presence whenever he on any of his songs.
Yeah, and he just A-Mafia, he just steps his game up as time goes on.
Yeah, I haven't checked him out in a minute. And actually, my brother, he was asking me because he couldn't think of his name. He just kept saying, the Dipset nigga that I will listen to all the time.
I'm surprised he said that because he was A-Mafia out.
Yeah, I mean, he was. Like, I was getting kind of tired of A-Mafia, but, like, he said something about ducks. It was some hard line he said about ducks. And I can't remember it, so now I need to go back and try to find that song.
But, yeah, shout out to A-Mafia. I hope he's not locked up now. I haven't heard anything from him in a minute, so that's usually what that means.
Well, yeah, because I remember at one point he had like a pretty big web presence coming out with different videos every 5 minutes and stuff like that.
Yeah. That's always a shame when, somebody starts to get a buzz going and they get locked up and that shit just goes away and then they try to come back but they can never really get it back to what it was.
Kind of like the guy from Philly, Cassidy's homeboy.
You know what's funny is that's kind of who I was thinking of.
I know he comes out. He's been coming out with material, but it seems like he's not getting a lot of attention right now.
Yeah, AR-Ab. I mean, I guess some of his attention was kind of based off the beef that he had with Cassidy, and then how he started he went in on Cassidy real bad, and Cassidy played it pretty well. He was just like, look, man, wish him the best, all this other type of stuff, because he's getting locked up. And then I think the dude went and sided with Meek Mill, and I'm not sure if he is still cool with Meek Mill or not. But I think, isn't he with them niggas OBF or whatever?
Yeah, what?
OBH?
Yeah, OBH, yeah. I thought that was his crew. I thought he owned it or whatever.
I don't know if he owns it, but I know he's like, I don't know he's like the leader of it, but I know he's part of it because, Dark Low is with them, who, your brother likes a lot, and who I like a lot too, actually.
I don't have a problem with any of them from what I hear. Like, they have like this other dude, and I think you heard the song. Like, he had like a song called "Sitting Sideways" or something like that. And
I don't really remember, but
they have Dark Low who does the East Coast type stuff, and they have like a dude who does down south stuff, and I guess other guys who I just don't who I haven't listened to yet.
Yeah, Philly, man, they just come out with some of the best MCs ever. And I guess, we didn't even get into this topic, but it's something that you talked about before we did the show. thinking about the Young Guns' first album and how dope that shit was.
Oh yeah, man. I mean, like I sometimes I sit around and just think about that album and how like no one cares about it.
Yeah. But like that shit was just hard, man.
I mean, yeah. I mean, although I never really I could never really rock with that can't stop, won't stop shit, but
that grew on me.
I don't know. I mean, the beat was it was annoying.
I mean, what I couldn't really rock with, which everybody loves, and I think, Young Chris and Neef, they still perform this song to this day because all the girls love it. That No Better Love.
Yeah, the music video, all the snow and shit.
Yeah, I never liked that song.
Yeah, I don't know. If I had to like say, I would probably pick that one over Can't Stop, Won't Stop.
I don't know, but like I think that album is one of the albums that really made me like appreciate Just Blaze, because like Just Blaze did his thing on that album, and there was some definite heaters that he produced on there. And like actually, that album was almost a concept album because. It's the whole story of how, they got the deal and Neef, he was still in the streets, but Chris was focused on rapping and, they finally came back and did the album and Chris used to have all these solo mixtapes out and everything like that. And, I don't know, I always loved that album and it's crazy because, after, meeting Young Chris a couple times, he's one of the coolest people that you'll ever meet who's like, quote unquote, made it or whatever. And
yeah.
It's dope when you can appreciate an album that somebody did and then you meet them and then they're actually like a cool person,
Yeah, that's true. I mean, yeah, all the things that you've told me about him, he does seem like a really cool dude. I mean, even like, I didn't come out with an EP recently or something like that. I think I saw something on the blog. He came out with something, I think. But everything I've heard outside of like his Young Gun stuff, it wasn't really bad.
Nah. I mean, his stuff is pretty dope. I mean, his one thing I will say about him is that sometimes his songs are like real depressing. And I guess maybe that was just a period that he was going through. But he had the Network mixtape series. And like, some of them songs is just too depressing to listen to. And it's funny because, they were kind of marketed as like, the young kids that the girls like and all that, Can't Stop, Won't Stop. But then when you go to the album is kind of dark. And then when you listen to some of Young Chris's mixtapes, like some of them records are real dark and he just... Like them rappers that just list all their homies that died.
Yeah.
And they have like multiple songs of that.
Yes.
It's like, damn, like it's like 2 or 3 mixtapes of just everybody that just died or like something bad happened to them and over these depressing ass beats. But it's still dope. But, it's like if you're in a bad mood, don't listen to that. But then after he did them depressing ass mixtapes, he did the mixtape with Rico Love, which was kind of more up-tempo because he signed a deal with Rico Love or whatever. And that was hard too. It was more up-tempo, a little bit more commercial sounding, but it was cool. And he actually had a joint with, I think, was it Rock City? Some reggae type of artist. It was either Rock City or it was, what's their name? I can't think of the name of them right now. But he's one of them versatile artists who can kick it over anything. And the Young Chris controversy, right?
No.
About how Jay-Z stole his style and flow.
Oh yeah, that one, yeah.
And pretty much like everybody, like Young Chris and Just Blaze and other people, they all pretty much say, when you're around people and you working together, you borrow from each other and stuff like that. But You know, I remember when Jay-Z first came out with that flow on Murder, Marcyville. And, like, you know, when you go back and listen, that was kind of Young Chris flow all day.
I mean, yeah, actually I never really thought about it that way. But it's funny how you can also look through Jay-Z, you can look at Jay-Z's progression through these, I mean, I guess nowadays, obscure Rockefeller albums that no one listens to anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I think we talked about this before. I'm not sure if we talked about it on the show in depth, but, you know, when you really go to those Rockefeller albums, like the Memphis Bleak albums and them Beanie Siegel albums and those, you know, Young Guns and stuff like that, Freeway albums, it's interesting to see, you know, Jay-Z's progression. It's interesting to see, like, how he does different things on other people's tracks. And, now I think about it, I think Jay-Z is one of them dudes who shines with other people more sometimes.
I mean, yeah, I can see that. I mean, I think one of his best verses in a while was on Drake's first album.
Oh yeah.
Although I still think that Drake outshined him. Although I mean, that was just the depressing ass verse though, for real, from Drake as usual.
I mean, another verse that's dope that I didn't really catch at the time was the classic record off Freeway's first album, which is a classic album. I don't care what nobody says. Is What We Do Is Wrong. And this nigga said, "Gotta kill witnesses 'cause free beard's sticking out." Like,
oh, of course. I mean, you have a personal attachment to it at this point.
I mean, but that was just like a dope record. Matter of fact, Freeway cool as shit too. I didn't really interact with him like that, but he seemed cool as shit. And from what other people say, you know, I've heard that he's mad cool. But yeah, gotta kill witnesses 'cause free beer sticking out. Like, what?
Yeah. I mean, you know, we can. Well, I guess mind you, we passed the 90-minute mark.
Oh yeah. We've gone pretty long with various hip-hop conversation. I guess we could probably bring this to a wrap because our episodes would be kind of long, but you know, we just be so into the music and reminiscing about various songs and records, and it's amazing how much the human mind can store. You know.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I never realized I knew this much about Cameron.
That's crazy. I mean, when we went to the Mobb Deep concert, I never realized I knew so many of their lyrics.
Oh, yes, yeah, that too. That's very true.
That's crazy. But I guess in closing, any final words for the listeners?
Let's see. Well, I guess based off of our statistics, we actually know we have listeners at this point.
Yeah.
I think it was something I wanted to say. Actually, I think I would just say, go and listen to Q-Tip's first album. I say that now, I can't think of the name of it right now at this point. Amplified. Yeah, Amplified. That's all I gotta say.
Alright, I guess I will check out this Billy Woods character in depth. If you're a hip-hop fan, go check out some of the Rockefeller records that don't get as much shine or much that aren't much talked about.
Oh, that's a good one there.
You said what?
I said, yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, because, I mean, like, you'll definitely, if anything, you know, you'll hear some of Just Blaze's best work. I mean, we didn't even talk about State Property Volume 1 and 2.
I'm sure even the movie at this point.
And we talked about the movies before. You mentioned you want to talk about the movies before before we even did the show. look out for athletes who become rappers, and let us know what you think. Check us out, channel10podcast.com. Hit us up, channel10podcast@gmail.com. Subscribe. Check us out. Comment, rate, all that good stuff. Like, click, whatever you do, just click. Like, wherever you see us at, just click on everything that you can click on. And that's pretty much that.
All right.
Until next week, peace out.
Peace.
Feeling this here. Yeah, son, you feel it, man. Word up, son. You gotta just do it, yo. Yo, word up, man. It's different channels, son. Word up, on, man. Word up, watch the channel, son. Different plane now, man. It's all good. Word up, all good, baby, in every hood, son. Word up, yeah. CNN, Network, Channel 10. It's on again. Street niggas is grown men. Bold face, gat in your face. Stay in place, yo, crime lace. Cast more beef than Scarface. CNN, Network, Channel 10. It's on again.